Another quickie episode, Post Faith and Cheesesteaks. Just going to talk about the top 100. It's finally done. Their full list is completed. So we have players 10 to 1, because the last week we did was a 40 to like 11.
I got to say, with top 10, I feel like there's not going to be much controversy here. I'm curious to see how they rank certain players.
Like, you didn't see it?
No, I have not. No, I usually wait until you tell me. Like it's Christmas morning. I don't know what I'm unwrapping.
Christmas morning. So let's start off with number 10. I'll go 10 to 6, and then we'll do the top 5. So number 10 was Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
Okay.
Number 9 was Steelers edge rusher TJ Watt.
Okay.
Number 8 was Cardinals receiver DeAndre Hopkins.
Okay.
Number 7, Bucks Super Bowl champion quarterback Tom Brady.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
And then number 6 was Packers receiver Devontae Adams.
The two that surprised me the most were Brady and Watt. You could literally make an argument that Watt is the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah.
So that kind of I wonder at the same time, second best defensive player of the league. So you could probably still, depending on how this list goes with the top 5, I guess he still could be. But 9 seems low for him. A guy literally coming off of what I thought should have been a defensive player of the year season. And, we'll see. I'm okay with the wide receivers where they're at. I like the ranking. I do think Adams was a little better than Hopkins. Brady surprised me. After winning the Super Bowl on a New Year team and the success he had and the fact that he's the GOAT and he has all the respect in the league, I'd have to think he's at least top 5. Man, my debate was between top 3 or top 5, to be honest with you.
I actually really like where I think 7's a good spot for him. I thought that's where I would, if I had to have him in the top 10, I would have him at 7. But I thought the players themselves would have voted Brady top 3. Honestly,
that's gone off a players list. My top 3, I would have assumed would have been Mahomes, Donald, Brady. That was my original thinking. I'm surprised that Brady didn't get as much love off the players. You got to be honest. This guy went to a team that had no Super Bowl hopes. He shows up and they win a Super Bowl the first time he's there.
Yeah.
Like that, there was a good team. Don't get me wrong. It was a good team. There was talent there. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, that offensive line, that defensive line, they were there before Brady got there. But don't lie and act like anyone thought the Buccaneers were winning a Super Bowl until Brady got there. So I'm surprised. I feel like he was a little disrespected, honestly. But
sure.
You're top 5?
So then going into the top 5. Number 5, we have Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce.
Wow. Overall, the wide receivers. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Just a little surprising. I probably would have had Adams ahead of him, but
yeah, I would agree with you there.
Number 4 was Titans running back Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Number 3, Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Number 2, Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald. And number 1, Chiefs quarterback Patty Mahomes.
Okay.
Thoughts?
My top 4, I'm not going to complain. Obviously, I said I would have expected before the list came out that it would be Mahomes, Donald, Brady, but I can live with Mahomes, Donald, Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Kelce is the one that surprised me, to be honest. He's higher than all the wide receivers. He is a number 1 pass catcher. He's not a tight end. He's a number 1 pass catcher. I just was kind of surprised that he was over Devontae Adams. Obviously, we've mentioned many times that these players lists usually bias the wide receivers on other certain positions. So overall, no issue with the top 5. Derrick Henry deserves to be a 4. I can live with MVP at 3. And then, let's be honest, it's Mahomes and Donald. They're the best offensive player and defense player in the league. Goes back to, TJ Watt, I feel a little bit better at 9. My main argument was he's the second best defense player in the league outside of Aaron Donald, and he is technically off the rankings. So that's kind of works. So ultimately, the top 10, I have no major issues with. I guess my biggest surprise is Travis Kelce at number 5. And then my only slight disappointment will be TJ Watt at 9. I just think he should be a little bit higher. I think you make an argument to put him over Hopkins. I don't know about Brady, but you could argue that you put him over both the wide receivers, I think.
Honestly, I would have brought Jalen Ramsey all the way up to number 5 and then slid Kelsey behind Devontae Adams. So Adams still stay at 6. Then I guess Brady, Kelsey, Hopkins, Watt, then Josh Allen at like 11. Or actually probably move Watt up a little bit too. But
honestly, I don't mind. I agree with you. Jalen Ramsey probably should have been there. I would have
Jalen
moved
Ramsey 100% deserves to be top 10. I don't know.
I think I would have moved Hopkins and Ramsey. Would have been, and then maybe switch TJ Watt above Ramsey there.
Sure.
That's probably the only major issues. I know he's coming off an MVP season, but you cannot discredit what Brady did with a new team. And he beat Aaron Rodgers. So I think I'd still put Brady at 3 over Rodgers.
Yeah. I mean, I got to catch the top 5 of the top 100 because it was on Saturday. I thought it was going to be on Sunday. And I happened to like check Instagram and I saw that they were doing it. And I saw like the discussion afterwards. They had like Kyle Brand, who I love listening to. He's funny. And then was it James Jones, who is like the most biased like analyst I've ever had to list. Like anytime the Packers are involved, he's gonna go for the Packers every time. Like he was like, oh, not even a question. Aaron Rodgers should have been number 1. He was MVP. I was like, no, yeah, obviously he was your quarterback. You played for the Packers at most of your career. Of course you're going to say that. Like,
hey, you can't hate him though, because you know what? His boy Aaron Rodgers just went on a podium and flipped double birds to his bosses and went on a long list of players that should have been re-signed by the Packers, and he was one of those guys. So you gotta, hey, listen. This whole Aaron Rodgers tirade and drama and everything, you got to respect the fact that Aaron Rodgers supports his boys. He literally told the Packers, you want me? Go get my fucking teammate in Randall Cobb, and they did. And he went on he listed like 24 players, James Jones being one of them, where he said they were all done dirty by the Packers. And, listen, if I was James Jones and I have a media career of my boy after I've been out of the NFL for 6-8 years or whatever, my boy's still mentioning my name being done dirty by the Packers. Oh, hell yeah. He'll be number 1, first ballot, whatever. You say what you can about him.
Whatever. Yeah, I just thought I was like, is that James Jones? I'm not surprised where this is going to go, but
of course, man.
One thing, the last thing I just wanted to do, I mean, I don't want to kind of go over the entire list because we kind of been breaking that down in pieces. So, I'm going to go first because I always let you go first, but let's take the top 10. You have to keep all the players in there, but rearrange it to how you would rank it. So for me, I keep Josh Allen at 10. I would slide Deandre Hopkins to 9.
Agree.
I would put Kelsey at 8. I keep Brady at 7. I put TJ Watt at 6. And then I'd put Adams at 5. And then Derrick Henry 4, Rodgers 3, Donald 2, Mahomes 1. So pretty much the same, but a little rearrangement of the back end of it.
Yeah, I'll start from the top bottom. It's easier for me to work that way. You're just used to starting from the bottom because most of the time you are on the bottom end of our arguments.
Right.
I'll start with Mahomes. Mahomes to Donald. You're literally looking at 1A, 1B there.
Sure.
I said it. He's the greatest football player ever, and he's still playing, and he just won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl MVP. He's number 3.
Wait, but hold on. How do you now put Brady ahead of Rodgers, but you had Rodgers ahead of Brady when we did our quarterback rankings? Because that's how I looked at it.
Because you got to understand, as the player rankings, the players reward success and positional grades. And for players,
you're pretending you're an NFL player.
Well, no. Because the player grades go off what you did last season. And obviously, as you know, and I've reiterated many times what my credentials are. I think Tom Brady had a better season last year than Aaron Rodgers did. When you look down to it, he beat him in the playoffs. He has a Super Bowl MVP to go along with an MVP.
But sure, yeah.
But you know what? Success is more than just stats. He beat him. First off, let's start there.
Sure.
He was playing on a brand new team.
I mean, Brady has the superior team. So if you have, even level quarterback,
you could argue that the Packers were 13-3 the year prior. You just talked about a top 10 running back, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 offensive tackle. Like there's a lot of talent on that Packers team.
Yeah, but Buccaneers defense is far superior than the Packers defense.
I would not say far. I would say they are better, but I wouldn't say far.
I would say Buccaneers is top 5. I don't even know if Packers are top 10.
I think honestly, when we're just talking about last year,
Okay.
the fact that he went to a brand new team, learned a whole new system after spending 20 years in a different system, and he won a Super Bowl immediately and beating the MVP. Sure, he didn't have the stats to win the MVP like Rodgers did, but he won games and he was successful. I'm putting Brady at 3. I'm putting Rodgers at 4.
Okay.
I'll keep Derrick Henry at 5 because I think he's the best non-quarterback offensive player in the NFL.
Well, Henry was at 4, so you would slide him back one spot.
Oh, I apologize. Yes, I'll have him at 5.
Okay.
I would go Adams,
Right,
PJ Watt, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
So 8, 9, 10. Who am I missing? I know Hopkins, Allen's left.
And
there's only 10 players. I can't remember the name.
Hopkins, Watt, Allen.
No, okay. So
you had Mahomes, you had Donald, Brady, Rodgers,
Henry.
Then
Adams.
you said Adams. So you have
Kelce.
Yeah. Kelce, Hopkins, Watt, Allen.
Yeah. So my top 10 will be Mahomes, Donald, Brady, Rodgers, Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Devontae Adams, TJ Watt,
7.
Travis Kelce,
8. Then you have Hopkins, Allen.
Josh Allen, DeAndre Hopkins. I liked Josh Allen last year. I do. I mean, listen.
Allen was, I think, didn't he finish second in MVP votes? So.
Yeah, I was saying he really turned around. I know I went on a tirade about how Brady went to a new team, immediately successful and everything. DeAndre Hopkins did the same exact thing, but call me biased. I give quarterback a little bump. But I mean, listen, I have no real main problems with the top 10. I can live with all of them as top 10 players. We made the argument of Jalen Ramsey, but ultimately, my main argument is I still think Brady was disrespected. When you're talking about just last year, this guy went to a new team, new system, taught them how to win, and won a Super Bowl. And he was a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
It's incredibly impressive. He deserves to be that's a top 5 finish. I don't want to hear top 7.
He didn't really deserve Super Bowl MVP, but they just kind of gave it to him because he's Tom Brady. So,
but did he have it? See, no one really cares what certain arguments are be made whether he deserved it or not. They're going to look back on this in 50 years and be like, "Oh, Tom Brady won Super Bowl MVP." No one's going to listen to, "Oh, he deserves this." Blah blah blah.
Wow.
All right, it's been fun. Top 100's finished, so that means the season's close, and I can't wait for another one. Before we cut this off, we do have some news I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
The Eagles obviously made a trade.
They did. Yes.
So your thoughts? We gave up a conditional 6th-round pick. I believe it goes to a 5th-round pick if he plays in more than 50% of the snaps for 3 games or something along those lines. Kind of ridiculous, but it does. On another note, with all these conditional picks kind of be thrown around and kind of what you hear in the communications with the Deshaun Watson rumors, it seems like the NFL is kind of leaning towards where the NBA is with protected 1st-round picks.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I think the Texans just taught everyone, just like the Brooklyn Nets taught everyone in the NBA, to protect your 1st-round picks because you don't know where you'll be in 2 years. The Houston Texans, I think, taught everyone to protect your picks because you don't know where you'll be in 2 years when they gave up a top 5 pick to, the Dolphins. But Gardner Minshew to the Eagles. I'm a fan. I think Nick Mullins was horrifically awful, that he did nothing to justify being on the roster. And when I look down to it, sure, there's some people that are critical about the fact that, hey, you ran your last quarterback out of town because you were bringing too much competition. Honestly, Mullins, people forget he was a starter. He started games for the Niners. Minshew also started games for the Jaguars. Like, all I look at this is you're subbing out Mullins for Minshew. I think Minshew's much better, but they're young guys that have starting experience that don't have much success to go along with it. Neither of them have many wins, but they have starting experience and they're young. So I'm okay with it. Mullins did not deserve a roster spot after how horrific he was in the training camp. So why not go give a 6th-round pick to bring in a guy who, who knows? Why not? You got 3 guys with starting experience. You never know how things go. I give Jalen Hurts this whole year, but after this, if he's not there, if he's not the guy, you never know. It's good to have as many quarterbacks as you want. As I said, as a very questionably motivated man said, the Philadelphia Eagles are a quarterback factory. So bring in another one, right? So,
So, I mean, good point you made there with Nick Mullins. Must run in the Mullen family of just poor talent.
Oh, I hate to kill my cousin, but yeah, he's left nothing to stand up for.
I didn't think he was good when he got the starting nod in San Francisco, and then obviously he got benched when they played the Eagles in like week 4. And then I was like surprised that they signed him to be the third quarterback, because at that point I would have just brought back whatever his name.
No.
He was better than Nick Mullins.
No. See, what's the why can't
Sudfeld.
Sudfeld. Let's put this differently. Sudfeld only plays in NFL games when you're intentionally trying to lose. Mullins was starting games to actually win. They were trying to win with him as the starter.
I think
Sudfeld goes out there to intentionally lose.
Yeah, but Sudfeld was fine. Like, he played fine in preseason games, and then he never really needed to play. And I don't think that game is a fair indictment on what he is capable of. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not a starter. He's a third string quarterback, but he's better than Nick Mullins. I don't know if I've ever seen a more poor preseason. He looks like a quarterback who got put into a regular 32 or regular 16 season game and like didn't know what to do. Like, he was running for his life in a preseason game. He looked so bad. I would have been shocked if they kept him. So I'm glad they got rid of him. And I was very, very surprised. Honestly, of all the teams to trade for Gardner Minshew, the Eagles were probably one of the last ones I would have thought of.
I was surprised. Yeah, I was surprised. Obviously, we all knew that he was up. I mean, this is what I don't get with the Jaguars. You gave up a guy for a 6th-round pick that caused you to cut Trevor Lawrence's snaps in half. Because remember, up until last week, there was a quarterback competition.
It was not a competition.
There was never a competition.
No, it was Trevor Lawrence's team. Once the Jaguars finished the season, as with the worst record.
I love seeing Urban Meyer at the podium say, "Yeah, we have a competition, open competition." Really, Urban? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you took this job solely because Trevor Lawrence was coming. I don't think there's a chance in hell you were going to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars unless Trevor Lawrence was coming in to that team. No. So yeah, please keep lying to me that there's a competition. But honestly, I think people that say, you're putting too much pressure on Hurts, or you're showing you have no confidence in Hurts, this is different. This isn't a 2nd-round pick after you give a guy a franchise contract. This is a guy who showed, something as a starter, who's going into he is the starter. Don't get it twisted. He's the starter this year.
Yeah.
But you also got to be, realistic that there is a chance that he doesn't succeed. And Minshew for a 6th-round pick, why not? He showed promise when he was a young quarterback. And really all you did was sub out Nick Mullins for Gardner Minshew. And for that, I think it was absolutely worth it. What else are you going to do?
Because he's not going to play the 50 snaps or whatever it was.
Yeah.
50% of snaps.
Yeah. What were you going to do? Nick Mullins did not deserve to be on this roster. Were you going to give him a roster spot that he didn't deserve, or you were going to bring in a practice squad, probably a undrafted free agent or a 6th-round pick to be your, 3rd-string quarterback? Why not use a 6th-round pick to bring in a guy that started games before to be your 3rd-string quarterback?
I don't even think Gardner. He's not even a bad quarterback. I think he just was on a really bad team, and
the team was horrific.
Like, I don't. There wasn't anything in his game where I was like, he sucks. Like, no. I think he's a solid. He could be a solid starter for any team. Like, I don't think he would win. I don't think he would lose you games. It's kind of like a Bridgewater. Like, I don't think he would lose you games, but I don't think he's going to win you games. But
yeah. Plus,
starter.
Tell me a more desirable 3rd-string quarterback jersey to have than Gardner fucking Minshew. The guy's a legend. The guy, the mullet, the mustache, he had hype coming out of college. His name's awesome. I love the guy. I love his personality. I love his swagger.
I wonder if it's
you love rooting for. Why would you hate bringing him on?
He has the handlebar mustache.
Oh, and the mullet. It's beautiful. The mullet. It's a great look.
I think part of it was I think it was a combination of a couple of things, mainly so Nick Mullins being just horrendous. Like he should not get signed by any team. He shouldn't even be on a practice squad. He is that bad.
Oh, I think that was the main argument. Is just they were going to give him a roster spot as 3rd-string quarterback, but then dude, you were so bad, we can't justify.
I didn't see him make one good throw in the preseason from what I was watching. B, I think Joe Flacco is going to be a solid backup, but I think because of his age and he's been coming off some back-to-back seasons with injuries, they just want a little stronger of a security behind him in case he also can't play and Jalen can't play. And then 3rd, I just think it's, like you said, the QB factory thing. I don't know what his contract looks like, but
The rookie deal.
For
He
a
was a
6th
late
round
round pick. Yeah.
For a 6th round, the pick that they gave up, I mean, I'm pretty sure they had extra picks anyway, so I'm not too pressed about it. And I think him and Jalen is a nice little, it'll be an interesting combo to see it when they're on the bench, when the defense.
I love it. Yeah. So I want to end this episode on this, and I'll only ask you this question. Picture this scenario. It's week 10. Jalen Hurts has started every game up to the week 10. He's struggling. Obviously, if he's struggling, the Eagles are struggling.
He's started 10 games and he's struggling.
Listen, they're going to give him every chance. Okay. Do you want to see Joe Flacco? Honestly, I'd give him 10 games. I'm giving Jalen Hurts every chance to succeed because I want him to succeed. I'm rooting for Jalen Hurts. Obviously, I like him as a person, but also for the fact that, listen, this is the reason you moved on from Carson Wentz. Don't lie to yourself and say there's any other reason. The reason you moved on from Carson Wentz was when you drafted Jalen Hurts and things didn't work out after that.
No, I think the reason they moved on from Wentz is because it wasn't fixable and they felt like they had a potential option in Hurts. I don't think they said, hey, Jalen's going to be our guy. Let's get rid of Wentz.
No, see, you know what wasn't fixable is after Jalen Hurts was drafted, everything wasn't fixable after that. And you had a guy that you wanted to start after you drafted Jalen Hurts. So going back to what I said, you've given Jalen Hurts every chance to succeed. He had some good moments, some bad moments, but ultimately you're struggling. It's week 10. Things aren't going well. Now the media's talking, fans are talking, we're on the podcast talking. Is it time to bench Hurts? Now, do we want to see the old veteran Flacco, who we know exactly what he is, or do you gamble and you throw Minshew in there? Because I think the other side of this trade is ultimately if it doesn't work out with Hurts and you need to make a season switch just to see if the other guy has it, we all know what Flacco is. Flacco's the guy if Hurts gets hurt and he's succeeding and the team's doing well, he comes in and holds it over. Minshew's the guy that things aren't going well and Hurts gets benched because of his performance. You throw out there just to see if he's got anything. Because let's be honest, Hurts has this year, and it's either he's your guy or you're going to use those 3 first-round picks to figure something out.
Yeah, he doesn't have the Drew Lock luxury of having 3 years.
Oh, no. Because don't get it twisted. Howie's job is probably, he realized he's on the hot seat, so he probably tied his job to those picks next year. He's like, you know what? Hurts didn't work out. That's fine, but I got all these picks for us. We can do whatever we want to get a quarterback. We can trade up in the draft to get a quarterback, or we can make a play at Deshaun Watson and do whatever you want. Is Minshew the guy you're calling for in week 10? If Hurts is struggling, the team's struggling, do you just call for Minshew? You want to see the young guy out there? Is that what we're doing, or do we stick with Hurts no matter what?
I'm actually shocked that you said that so well because I agree with what you said. I think if the Eagles are doing well and Jalen gets hurt, let's say they're like 6-5 or whatever, or 6-4 in the positive of win losses. Midway through the season. Yeah, I would say Flacco comes in. If they've won one game, if they're 1-9 and Jalen Hurts just super inconsistent or he's just not looking like he's going to be a starter at all, then I think they would put in Minshew instead, Yeah. So
no, I agree. And I think that's part of why they made the trade. Because honestly, we all know Flacco's the bridge gap on a team that's contending or doing something. We don't want to see.
I'm fine with the Flacco.
I'm fine with Flacco too.
He looks fine in preseason. He's healthy, so I don't have any problems with that.
But Flacco's not the guy. If things go off the rails and aren't going well, you don't want to see what Flacco has. You know what Flacco has.
Right. He's not
it just comes down to is like. Listen, I think Howie realized because Howie's calls the shots. We all know that. How many coaches has he survived? And he still has his job. He's on his 4th quarterback or whatever. He knows his seat is burning. And I think the trades that he made to get those first-round picks are going to keep him alive because he can justify and say that he is setting himself up if things don't work out. And Minshew, again, goes back to that because you have a young guy that has promise that this fan base will want to see what he has if things don't go well with Hurts. Don't listen. After what we've seen with Mullins, if at week 10 and the team's struggling and everything, do I want to see Nick Mullins? Of course I don't want to fucking see Nick Mullins. He's like Nate Sudfeld. I know what Nate Sudfeld is. I don't want to see Nate Sudfeld either unless we're intentionally trying to lose a game. Minshew's a guy. He's young enough. He's unproven enough, but he's also proven enough to be excited that you could get this fan base excited for. If Hurts doesn't succeed in the middle of the season and bring in Minshew.
He fits right in with the Philly crowd.
Oh, he's a great attitude. So
he's such a Philly crowd guy.
I don't hate the trade at all. And Hurts doesn't seem like he's Wentz. He seems like he embraces competition. Obviously, this guy went through one of the biggest, quarterback controversies in college football history when he was a championship winning quarterback. And Tua came in. So I don't think he worries by that. He seems like a very driven, passionate person. And I like his personality a lot.
He's definitely got the leader mentality. So.
Yeah. He seems like he's just, I'm going to be a good teammate to the quarterbacks in the room, but I don't give a shit who you bring in. I'm going to go out there and dominate, and we'll see what happens. I love his attitude. I love him as a person. We'll see how he is a quarterback, but ultimately, all in all, I'm a big fan of the trade. I thought it's low risk, no risk. If you want to even say 6th-round pick, what is a 6th-round pick? Most guys that don't even make the team. So why not? You're not getting a guy with starting quarterback experience, a young guy on a cheap rookie contract with starting experience in the NFL. You don't get that with a 6th-round pick. So I have no issue with the deal. I like it. And I like it for that scenario in season. If things aren't going well, why not throw another guy out there? Until you have the quarterback, I'm a firm believer of this. Until you have a quarterback confirmed, keep throwing quarterbacks out there until you figure something out. Because a lot of times you can just tell when a guy isn't it. I think the Denver Broncos are a good example of that. They're going with Teddy. Sure, we know what Teddy is. But it's something different. When you know Drew Lock isn't the guy, you move on. Because if he's not the guy, rarely do they become the guy. Ryan Tannehill is maybe the only guy I can think of in NFL history that was just a bust and was going nowhere and went on to be a successful quarterback somewhere else.
I guess. I don't have too much to add to that. I agree with most of what you said. And I was, like I said, surprised, but I think I actually warmed up to it. At first I was like, why would we get Gardner Minshew? I don't like that at all. But no, I warmed up to it pretty easily. So
I loved it. I actually can't believe that we got him for a 6th-round pick. There's a million teams in this league that I would have put a 6th-round pick on him. Why not? The Broncos are one of those teams. Why not?
Yeah, I agree.
You clearly don't believe in Locke. Why not bring in a different young quarterback that see what he has? But
yeah, I'm ready for, was it September 7th or 8th is the first Thursday game of the season. So
we've got 2 episodes before that, and I'm excited. We got the safeties to finish, and then obviously my favorite episode every year. I like the season preview because I like to run it back and see where I was correct and where you were wrong.
Yeah, tackle safeties and season preview. So good stuff.
It's been a pleasure as always.
Alrighty, I don't know if pleasure is the right word, but it's you are a Chick-fil-A worker, so it always is your pleasure. So.
Listen, you put your last second digs on me. That's fine. I can understand the pent up frustration when I own you throughout these episodes.
Okay, all right.
It's good to see you nonetheless. I'll talk to you.
All right, peace out.
Peace.